Hey, what's going on, guys? This is Jack bringing you a post-com of last week's battle against Rossy. So unfortunately, last week I was feeling a little sick. I had a bit of a sore throat, and I wasn't quite feeling up to doing live com. So that's why I didn't get a video posted last week. So yeah, sorry about that. But here I am bringing you guys a post-com, trying to catch back up now that my throat's feeling up to it. So yeah, so basically, when I was going into team preview here, I immediately noticed that he does not bring Tangrowth, which is incredible. I thought Tangrowth was a 50-50 because it does check stuff like Zarude, and AV Tangrowth can check or at least check, not necessarily counter, but like make sure Specs or Scarf Greninja doesn't get too many shenanigans. Um, and then can also do stuff around with like Appletoon and stuff. Um, but then also Tangrowth also gets bopped by like Victini and Beedrill. So I thought it was like a 50-50 if you bought it or not. But the fact that they didn't means that Zarude is looking incredible in this matchup. Basically, the only thing that really gives it a problem is Landorus just being able to switch in and intimidate. But everything else that has close combat, Darkest Lariat, and Power Whip for, I mean, so it 2-hit KOs pretty much everything on this team. Even Landorus with Power Whip after an Intimidate, I'm pretty sure it OKOs, or 2-hit KOs. Um, so yeah, that's looking really great in this matchup. I'm also seeing that if I can get Webs up, um, that would be really nice. Of course, he does have the Rotom there as a pretty reliable defogger, but if I can get Webs up even for a little bit and get a crucial kill, that's also really nice. The other thing is about him not bringing Tangrowth is that I'm thinking that Landers is going to be physically defensive, um, as he needs some kind of physically defensive mon. Obviously, he has the chance in the road in there to take up special hits. So the fact that Landers is his physically defensive mon means that Victini looks great as well. Basically, nothing switches into a Banded V create. Pretty much the only thing on his team that doesn't get 2-hit KO'd by Banded V create is a physically defensive Rotom. But team preview, I'm starting to think it's either at least mixed defensive or special. So yeah, I'm thinking I want to lead off. Where do I lead off with here? Yeah, I lead off with the Galvantula, try to see if I can get the webs up, but of course he does leave the Lopunny. Obviously, I want to keep my Focus Sash intact, so I don't want to take the Fake Out, so I'm just going to hard switch into Zarude. It has pretty decent defensive stats, so I know it can take the Fake Out pretty well. And then I'm just going to go for a Scarf U-turn. I know he's going to want to switch out. He wants to Scarf for my... Or he wants to Scout for my Scarf, so I know he's going to switch out, so I'm just going to go for the U-turn here as he does bring in the Lando. And we do see the Rocky Helmet here, so yeah, that I'm pretty much confirmed that it is physically defensive. So yeah, I know that Victini can, if I ever get Victini in, it can pretty much just click V create. And if Rotom is chipped, then it dies, or anything else just pretty much dies if it comes in on Victini. Even Blacephalon, I mean, it's resisted, but Blacephalon has like no defenses, so even it gets killed. Here I'm just going to go for Webs, thinking that I thought he was going to try to switch out and scout for the HP Ice, but he decides to stay in, probably expecting me to go for Sticky Webs just so he can take off my Sash. Surprisingly, it doesn't absorb my Sash, like he just happens to do exactly 99%. So then next turn I'm just going to go for the HP Ice, bring him down, and don't kill. But I do get him down to an HP where that like Lando's pretty much gone unless he happens to be able to wish it off. So he's going to switch in Rotom, so that's a free switch into my Zarude here. He's going to go into Blacephalon. I do get a crit here, but I mean, it doesn't even matter. Without the crit, I still would have been doing like 60%, so power up's still 2 KO, so the crit doesn't even really matter. I'm kind of surprised he brought Blacephalon in, because the combination of Blacephalon and Kyurem puts a lot of pressure on Florges, because it's really my only switch into specially offensive moves. But the fact that he's sacking Blacephalon means I can just keep Florges run specifically for Kyurem, so that Kyurem isn't going to be a problem for me. So yeah, we're just going to kill Blacephalon right here, and that we don't have to worry about that monster anymore. So he brings in the Lando here. There's no reason not to go for another Power Whip because he's at 7%. Even though I'm intimidated, I'll still kill. He's only at like 6-7%, so Power Whip would still kill. Really, the only drawback for going for Power Whip there, if he stayed in, was getting the Rocky Helmet chip. But I mean, with Blacephalon gone, which I'm pretty sure is a Scarfer, uh, Zarude outspeeds his entire team. So I don't really need the HP anyway, so I don't mind taking the chip. But he goes into Chansey here. Yeah, so at this point, I'm just going to hard switch because look at that damage. I'm not taking anything. So I go into Victini and just going to go for a U-turn. Rotom was still at full HP. I hadn't gotten any chip on it, so there's no point in me going for a V-Create because even if he's min speed, like no speed investment after a V-Create, he will outspeed me. And I don't want to give him any momentum. So, and I knew he wasn't going to stay in with Chansey there. So I was just, and especially since he had just gone for Wish, if I had gone for V-Create, he's just going to get healed back to full. So there's no reason for me to stay, and I'm just going to U-turn out into Zarude, try to get that momentum here. And then he's just going to he's just going to sack the Landorus right here. So don't have to worry about that Intimidate switching anymore, which means Zarude is looking even better now. Now that he doesn't have an Intimidator, I can just come in and click moves anytime I want. I do miss the Power Whip here on the Rotom, which is extremely unfortunate because I'm pretty sure even at -1 I still would 2-hit KO. But I mean, it's 85% accurate. We've been hitting them so far, so it was bound to happen eventually. Just a little bit unfortunate that it did happen there. He sends in the Kyurem here, and I Forges as my switching every time. Freeze Strike does nothing, so yeah, Forges just tanks Kyurem for days. So by that damage, I could tell he's not Specs. Even if he was Specs, I mean, that would have been doing 25% probably. 25-30%, so yeah, I don't have to worry about Kyurem at all, pretty much, as long as Forges is healthy. Here I'm just going to go for a close combat. He's going to protect, but like I said, I don't really need the HP on my Zarude so long as I have some amount of HP, so I don't really mind the Toxic. I could just stay in and keep going for close combats. But I do want to make sure I'm at an HP where I can at least take a Fake Out. So I'm just going to go into Florges. He does Volt Switch out, so I'm going to have to hard switch into... Or actually, I'm going to Protect just so I can absorb the Fake Out. Then I'm going to hard switch into Appletoon. Appletoon doesn't really have a purpose right here. I mean, for Rotom, Florges can stall it out if it needs to. And then obviously Kyurem bops it, and I don't really do much to Chansey. Because Appletoon doesn't get Toxic, unfortunately. I really hate that Gen 8 just removed Toxic as a TM and made it more rare, because like obviously all the mons I got in previous gens still have it, so it just kind of nerfs all the Gen 8 mobs that don't get Toxic. It's really annoying. I don't like it. But yeah, so I can't really do much to Chansey, so really the only thing I can do with Appletoon is come in on low punny, take a return. I am at an HP where an Ice Punch will not kill, so I can just go for a Body Press, which is crucial. Getting some chip damage on the low punny is great, because at full, I believe Lopunny had like a 50 or 60% chance to live a close combat from Zarude. So getting that chip does ensure that close combat will kill it, which is what I really needed. And this is the best part of the match, where we're just going to have a nice long stalling match here. So I'm going to get the Heal Bell, cure my Toxic. And basically what he wants to do is he doesn't want to let me get in something for free. So he's just going to keep spamming Thunder Wave, so that I can't switch in anything. Which is kind of annoying, so I just kind of had to play the predict game. Yeah, so he's just going to keep doing that, not letting me getting anything in for free. So at this point, what I got to do is I just got to put the pressure on him with Moonblast. Moonblast is doing a decent amount. I have like no special attack investment at all. But Moonblast is still doing a decent amount. So yeah, so what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to get him down low enough so that and force him to go to Pain Split and then try to hard switch something in here. I'm not going to hard switch here because I felt like that move was pretty obvious and he might have predicted me to switch and go for the Volt Switch or the Thunder Wave. So I'm going to play the long con a little bit here, you know, be careful. And even if I do hard switch something in and get T-Wade, I can just immediately go back into Forges and Heal Bell. But I don't want to lose that momentum. So I do get a crit here. So I know he's going to go for Thunder Wave because he is in range for potentially getting bought by another Moonblast. So he has to go for Pain Split. So this is when I bring in the Zarude to try to get that momentum back. And then yeah, no reason not to go for Power Whip. His only switch into Power Whip was Curum, and like I said earlier, if he brings in Curum, Florges is always a safe switch in for that. So at this point, I can go into Victini. All Chansey can really do to me is Toxic, and eh, whatever. And at this point, Victini just gets a kill. Yeah, so it's doing 74, 75% to Chansey because that thing is a monster. But he can wish, protect all he wants. Like, he's only wishing 50%. I'm doing 75, so I will eventually bring that Chansey out. But he decides to sack the Curum right here, which is huge, so I don't have to worry about that thing anymore, which means Florges is pretty worthless now. Um, and also, at this point, I feel like Greninja is pretty worthless because it doesn't outspeed the Lopunny, and obviously Chansey is a monster, so it's not doing much to Chansey either. So I figure I just might as well sack Greninja to the Lopunny and then bring in Zarude for free. And at this point, I win. I just switch in Click Host of Combat, hard switch out on Lopunny's Fake Out, so that I don't get that chip. I'm going to sack Forges here, and then I just bring Zarude back in and click Host Combat again. Yeah, I'm pretty sure the deciding moment was when Rotom went down. He absolutely should not have sacked Rotom to the Zarude because it was really his only switch into a number of my threats. And as soon as that went down, I mean, he had Curum, Lopunny, and Chansey left, so that just gave Zarude free close combats, and gave Victini free Vigoriates. But yeah, so that was definitely a fun match because Zarude picking up a whole bunch of kills. Even at team preview, I knew Zarude looked good, but I did not expect it to put that much work and pressure on his entire team. So yeah, that was a lot of fun. Thanks for tuning in, guys, and hopefully next week I'll be ready for that live comm for you guys. Thanks.